All right. Week 28 or episode 28 in this season of Silicon Valley of Agentuity AI Silicon Valley. We have a few folks, including Jeff and all, either traveling or sick. So it's slim pickings this afternoon on Friday, but still we got some good demos going on. I'll go ahead and start. So we have an internal agent. I think we talked about this a long time ago, way to manage customer information, credits, stuff like that. And so before we even had Agentuity, we were like, oh, we need this. So we built it, but we didn't have the agents running on Agentuity. So I just ported them yesterday to them. So it works now, which is great. Let me share my screen. Let's do that. Share. Everybody see my screen okay? Yeah, okay, cool. So this is Ops Center, and in here, like internally employees, we can be like, hey, give this guy, which is me. Now you have my email address. Oh no. Um, $100 of credits, $100 of credits, and it'll just go through and it'll do some tool calls and do it. So now it's an Agentuity, proper Agentuity agent. It's in Bobby. You'll appreciate this. It's in our mono repo as a separate project, which is great. And you can actually put multiple agents in that mono repo, and it'll work with our shared library and all that kind of stuff. So works great. Everything's working. So now we can start putting our internal agents in the mono repo now too, which is great. And then while it's doing that, it's in the agents folder, and then the project will just, every folder under that will be an agent project. So in this case, it's the Ops Center agent project, and I just have the Ops chat, and that's what that interface is talking to. So we can go through and edit it. And then I've exposed the tools are inside this project, which I think is fine, but they actually end up calling things that are in our shared library. That way it's always consistent and that kind of thing. The tools, maybe eventually we'll move the tools out into like an AI folder in the library, and so that we can have shared tools, but right now it's just tools specifically for this agent. So that's where we're at. And there you go. So goes through, actually, I think we had a database change in here. Yeah, there's a foreign key constraint, so I knew that wasn't going to work. But you can see it's doing the tool calling, it's doing the loop, trying to figure it out, figures out what the balance is and all that. So it's working, which is great. Cool. All right, that's it for me. And then Jason, I think you're up next.
Thanks, Rick. So I'm working on an agent that can do handwriting detection. So the idea is it has an email address. So you email the agent a PDF. The PDF has some text and some handwriting. And we want to parse that into a CSV so that we can pull that data and push it into another system. So it's a really fun one. And I ended up building a way for a human to triage and see what the agent did versus what is in the PDF, so they could edit it and then change it. So I'll show you how it works. So first, you can either attach it here or send an email to the agent. And while that's running, I'll come over here and you can see some of the runs that I've done in the past. So this is the form, right? We just got a bunch of random handwriting here, some text, some check marks and things like that. And then here we have actually what the agent detected, and you can kind of see how close we're getting. So this one is correct, and then it missed a check mark, but then it got the NA, missed a check mark, and then got one, and it gets some of the greens and not all of them. So what I'm working through now is how do we change this form so the LLM does better recognizing the stuff that's handwritten on there. So as you can see, this was a kind of a Scantron style approach. And then if we go back to some of the earlier ones, well, that was a Scantron too, but we'll see some of them have check marks. I promise they do. So yeah, well, we had some circles. We had to see how that went. That actually did surprisingly pretty well. So maybe we'll go back to that. But the idea is taking a look at the original document versus what the LLM generated kind of side by side so that you can come in here and see the difference and edit it if it did get it wrong and say, oh, this should be green. And we can go ahead and save and approve that. And yeah, that's pretty much it for
That's
me.
pretty cool.
So,
And you can imagine, you know, I got my product hat on. There's a generic kind of approach to some of the human in the loop, like QA, QC kind of stuff that can happen that we could offer. I know these are like bespoke things, but even internal, like in the code, you can catch things and like offload it to like a human in the loop, like verification, but also like a approval type thing. So it's cool. It's a good like dip our toe in the water on some of this.
totally. And you could see how much faster you would be kind of going through all this and getting it approved. So
Yeah.
pretty fun one. So that's it for me. Over to Bobby.
Hello, I have been working on different development environments this week. So, quick just recap, why would you want development environments, right? So, say you're working on a change to your agent and you don't want to push it straight to production and you don't want to use all the same secrets and configurations for your preview environment or your development environment. So like on a preview branch, right, you can hit that that deployment. We create a deployment for you on opening of a pull request. So now, if you have a preview branch, that deployment would end up using the environment variables attached. So that's kind of an overview of what environments are going to be. And what I'm going to show you today is the modal that I am working on and how we are thinking about environment creation. So one thing you'll notice first is that this color right here is like mathematically the most different color you can get from these other colors, right? And it does that like on every open. And there's a little bit of randomness just to make it fun. I don't know if the randomness will stay in the latest iteration of this, but that's one little nicety there. So let's call this one staging with 2 G's because I need there to not be a record conflict. It's staging. And for this environment, we are going to want it to run on all branches that start with feature. So let's see if this is going to work. I'm going to copy this prompt real quick just in case it goes haywire. It works. Okay, so it figured out the regex for that, and it filled it in here. It says val regex can't be evaluated. That's a bug. But what it also does is it provides you a link so you can test this regex really easily, and it'll generate specific examples based on the regex you've defined, right? So feature not a match obviously matches. This is a problem. Obviously bug fix doesn't match and all this emoji stuff doesn't match. So you can test your regex easily. So this section down here was supposed to be a brief explanation of what the regex does. So again, we're still working on that part, but this is one of those agents that will go in the mono repo that Rick was referencing. So that is me on environments. More to come soon. Matt, over to you.
I'm going to boycott Bobby for trying to replace me as the regex guy with AI. I don't like that at all. Not cool, man.
Bad news. You've been replaced a long time ago.
Yeah. All right, cool. So my demo today is going to be the new agent that I worked on over the past week. You know, it's something that we wanted to have, but it was also sort of an impetus for us to go and work through what Slack integration looks like and the best way to utilize Slack and create like a chatbot sort of experience. So I've got this blog writer Slack bot that's connected to an Agentuity agent. It's just the standard way of connecting a Slack bot, which is you give it the webhook, you subscribe to the events, etc. But we can go ahead and kick it off real quick here. So I'm just going to use one I've been using a lot in testing, as you can probably see, which is the blog post that we did about our interns and their end of summer recap. So this is going off right now, and the agent is reviewing this and coming up with a list of questions based on sort of the direction it wants to take the blog post. So in a second here, we should get a response. I've also got this in test mode, so it's only going to do like 2 questions. Normally it'll do like 5 to 10, but that would take forever to demo. So, okay, for each intern, what project did they own? They did a CRM agent. Send it. It'll come back a bit quicker this time. It's already got the list of questions ready to go for us. All right, can you share one vivid story? So this is a really cool feature. In this instance, this is a blog post about the interns. And so we should ask one of the interns, right? So what I could do is I could say, you should ask, I'm gonna tag my test user, just so I'm not pinging one of the interns right now, and so we can see it. So I should, you should ask test user about that. They'll have a better answer for you. Wait a second. Got it. I'll ask test user, and then let me go through and look. And we're out of questions. So now that we're out of questions, what it's going to do is it's going to look at my responses to all the questions that it asked me, the 10 or so questions. And if I brought up anything interesting and didn't expound on it enough, or if I sort of missed something that it was trying to pull out of me with the question, it can actually go through and ask follow-up questions as well. So it's going to review all the questions and the answers that I gave it. And in this case, all right, it's like, great. Like you said, they did a CRM agent. Can you tell me more about it, please? For now, I'm just going to skip it. It's fine. So what it's going to do now is reach out to the people that I mentioned, right? So I do have over here my test user Slack instance in the web, and says, hey, I'm writing a blog article for Matt. Here's what the article's about, AI summary, of course. And if you open up the thread, it says, can you please answer the following question?
Oh man, I love this. This is so cool.
Yeah. You can just respond all at once. Like you could put 1 decimal and then your answer 2 decimal or whatever, or you could just do it all at once. It will figure out which one you're responding to. That way you don't have to have like this whole back and forth or whatever. So let's just say we had a great time at the end of summer offsite. We watched Silicon Valley a lot. There you go, Rick. So, in this case, the intern replied, and it's going to say, got it. Thanks. Intern's all done. Doesn't need to do anything else now. So now what it's doing is it's taking all of the answers and it's collating it, and it is drafting the blog post. So that's going to take a little bit longer than some of the others. And we'll just wait. Shouldn't take too long. What this is actually doing in the background is it's actually storing this in the Agentuity object store as well. And it is also creating a publicly accessible URL for that document, which is a markdown file with front matter. So here in a second, I really got to switch off GPT-5 for this. It's so slow. I need to like use Grok with Llama or something. There we go. All right. Draft is ready. So we can open up the draft. Here you go. Front matter with the blog post. And it's all ready to go. I'm just quickly noticing, man, there's no headings in here, right? We should have subheadings for each section. So it's going to notice that I didn't say approve or anything similar to approve. So it's going to go rework that. Great. It's revising the draft. Hopefully this is a little bit faster than creating it from scratch. Okay. Now we've got subheadings. So it made the edits as requested. All right. Looks good to me. Again, LLM's determining what I'm saying. So LGTM is good enough for approval. So all that's going to do at this point is just going to mark it as approved, and we're done, and that's it. So now you can send this around if you want reviews, again, publicly available markdown file, or what I would really like to do, we use Devin at Agentuity. It'd be really cool if the blog writer just, said at Devin go make a PR to add this blog post, and then link to the file, right? And we can just completely automate the entire process at that point. So that's my demo. I think we're done at this point.
Very cool.
So
Very,
yeah.
very cool.
That's it for this week for us. We'll be back next week. Robin told me that he's got at least 10 demos for next week when he shows up. So be on the lookout for that. He's on the hook for it now. Thanks, y'all. Hope you have a good weekend, and we'll see you next time.
Ciao.